What's going on, you guys? I just wanted to come out here real quick. Me and Destiny are gonna head up to our beach for just a little bit. It's not gonna be a crazy long session, but what I'm gonna focus on today when I get to the beach is I'm gonna try to hunt in the water. And when I was at the beach last time, for the first time, I did get in the water with this machine, but it was acting up a little bit, and I wasn't sure if I didn't have the settings tuned in right or what it was. So let me put a disclaimer in front of this video. Please do not take what you see as fact, because I could maybe have the settings not quite tuned in right. There may be an update in the future, but this is my turn on and go experience. So what I'm going to do real quick though before we head to the beach is I want to read you off here from my understanding. I'm not going to read this whole thing, but here's the beach setting for the Legend. It claims the salt typically present in beach sand and sea causes the sand and water to be very conductive, generating noise and false signals. Single frequency detectors cannot work in these environments or they underperform. Multi-frequency can minimize this noise, allowing for maximum performance in these environments. So right here it says, for these reasons, single frequencies cannot be used in beach mode. When beach mode is selected, the device automatically switches to multi-frequency and single frequencies cannot be selected. In this mode only, the multi-frequency has two options: wet sand underwater, which is going to be MW, which I think that stands for multi-wet, and then or dry sand with very low salinity, which is WD, but I think actually, let me get over here on the detector. This is beach mode, and it's actually MD. So right there you can see there's MW, which is going to be multi-wet, and MD, which is going to be multi-dry. So I think they let a little bit of a typo slip through there on the the manual, but that's no big deal. We know what they're talking about. So it says for underwater, wet sand underwater is going to be MW, multi-wet, and then for dry sand hunting you're going to use it says WD, but I assume it means MD, which is multi-dry. Each time you press the frequency button in beach mode, you navigate between the two options. So in the sand you are detecting on is dry but has high salinity, you should use the Oh, okay, that's what it's saying. I got confused for just a second. If the sand you are detecting on is dry but has high salinity, so if it's like a highly mineralized sand, you should use the multi-wet option. To identify the salinity level, pump the search coil over the sand while in all metal discrimination pattern, and check the ID of the sand. If the ID is higher than 2, you should select MW instead of MD. So right there again, that's MW multi-wet, MD is multi-dry. The ground balance and ID stability has been optimized for different conditions and will vary for each option. In wet beach sand, MW multi-frequency will generate accurate IDs, but if you switch to MD, the IDs may be wrong. Similarly, in dry sand with low salinity, you can ground balance the detector in MD, but if you switch to MW, you may not be able to ground balance. Here it is right here. And I think this is a new addition. They call it stability. The stability setting is active in beach mode only. With this setting, you can minimize the ground noise and false signals on the beach for a more comfortable metal detecting experience. The stability can be set between 1 to 5. The default setting is 1. Level 5 will offer maximum stability. As the stability is increased though, the signal of lower conductors such as gold with ID 11 may diminish. So very small gold, earrings, chains, you know, maybe pendants, you may lose those if you run the stability up. So this setting has no effect on mid to high conductors. So yeah, I think what we're going to do is, for the best chance, the most quiet experience in the wet sand at the beach, from my understanding, it's going to be multi-wet and a stability set to 5. So keep that in mind. What we're going to do, we're going to pack this baby up, we're going to head to the beach, and we're going to see how this machine reacts. So I'll see you in a minute. All right, what's going on, everybody? We just now showed up at the beach. So this is going to be, I'm going to try to keep it as real as I can and just let you feel out this whole experience here. Because like I was saying, I tried this in the water one other time, and I want to show you the results that I got, like real world results. So let me just see. You know, I think it's fair a little bit to compare it to the Equinox, since this is kind of what, you know, this is the target, right? They were targeting the Equinox pretty good. I'm gonna have to take this off before I get in the water, but let me just see. We'll turn it on. We'll try to go in those settings that we just figured out, right? We went through the manual before we came out here. Multi-wet right there. I think we're gonna go to all metal mode first though. Multi-wet, all metal mode. When I use the Equinox, I usually run all metal mode, or at least I have my iron on when I go in the water. So let me just show you again real quick. We are in beach mode, multi-wet. Go into the settings here real quick. Recovery speed set to 6, and then how did we get to the stability? There's the stability. Let's start it down here at 1, and then let's see how it reacts, and then we'll pump it up to 5 and see how it reacts. So we're just in 20 sensitivity right now. Maybe we'll pump it up a little bit to 25, and let me just see. So right here, this is what the machine is looking like. On the VDIs, it's very bouncy. I think that might be some iron right there. Unless that's mineralized sand though. So right here, when I'm getting down into the water, let me just like get in the water a little bit. And this is exactly what was happening the first time I got in here too. Please, like I said, do not go crazy. I might not have the right settings, but this is like my real world first experience out here. Let me turn the volume up so you can hear too. This is in multi-wet. Stability is at 1 though. So this is what the machine sounds like in the water. You hear this? So what should I do next? Let's kind of let's get into it a little bit more here. Let's go back over to our recovery speed. Then let's get into, whoops, that ain't it. I keep forgetting how to get into the stability. There's stability. Let's pump the stability up to 5. Whoops. Go over here, here, stability, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, 5 stability. We're in multi-wet again, beach mode, 25 sensitivity. So again though, listen to this. This is iron. It's giving me just iron signals on all this sand down here. As you can see in the water though, there is black sand in this water. It's just, with the iron at least, in all metal mode, you can't run it, right now at least, it's not able to run in all metal mode. So what I want to do real quick now is let's turn off all metal mode. Let's eliminate the ground noise. That could help. I think that maybe helped a little bit to eliminate some of the ground noise, but it's still definitely popping, and we're only at 20 sensitivity here. So now let's try to go over here. So this is basically all the iron is eliminated now. So let's try to swing it now. Again, I'm 5 stability and I'm only 20 out of 30 sensitivity. MW. So it's quite, I mean, you know, it's definitely, it's quieted down quite a bit. So right now, before I keep swinging, because I don't know now with these settings, now that I would say it's as stable as I can get it without, you know, pumping my sensitivity way down. If I go to 15 sensitivity now, it's not getting me like anything at all, right? It's very quiet now, but you know, I don't want to have to run that low a sensitivity, I don't think. Or let's just see now. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a full scoop out of the water. Ugh, take a big old nice scoop. I'm talking a full scoop out of the water. I got my big scoop with me too. And what I'm going to put down in this hole here is I'm going to drop a nickel down there. Mid conductor. Right there. 1995, I think. Put that nickel right down in the hole. I missed the hole there. let's put him in the hole, and we're gonna step down on him a little bit. So he's probably like 3 or 4 inches down there in the wet sand. So let me see now if I'm just swinging. I don't want to swing right over it, but if I'm swinging, will we be able to hear this nickel? Yes, okay. So that, all right, that's a pretty good sign, you know. I was a little bit worried that with all that iron falsing, even if I turned the iron off, it would act like it's trying to separate an iron and it wouldn't be able to hit a coin, you know. But definitely, that is no problem. That kind of gives me a little bit of confidence because I'm only 15 sensitivity there and it's smacking it out no problem at all. So 26, 27. Now let me take this nickel out of here again real quick. I'm gonna take this nickel out, try to sift it out, and I'm gonna do a reel test after this too. I'm actually gonna go around in the water and see if I can find anything, but for right now I just want to make sure that I'm even gonna be able to hit coins in here, you know. So there it is right there. It's our nickel. I was probably 3 or 4 inches down, so let's bury it a little bit deeper, see how it reacts to it. All right, I'm gonna take another big scoop out of here. I gotta take this digger sheath off of here too before I get it wet and ruined. Take another big scoop out of there. I have a quarter too with me, like a dime and a quarter, but let's take another scoop out of there. I want this thing to be relatively deep, because I'm not really going to be able to run too high a sensitivity. I like my machine to be really quiet when I'm in the water, you know. I don't like a lot of false signals and stuff. So if you're used to the false signals, I'm sure you could run your sensitivity up a little bit more, you know. But if I'm in the water, I want a nice experience all around. I want a quiet machine in the water. So let's try this nickel down there again. This one's definitely deeper. Oh yeah, he just sunk down there. I'm gonna guess 5 to 6, maybe 7 inches down there on that nickel now. Cover it all up with the sand. Let's see. This is just experimental though, you know. I like to call these experimental tests, not like set in stone, you know. People could have different experiences. My beach is not like everyone else's beaches. This is heavily mineralized, but I'm also taking into the account that when I bring the Equinox out here, it's quiet as a mouse, you know. So let's see. Is that it? I think that's it right there. So it's hitting on it. There it is, right there. That's 100% it. So 15 sensitivity, it's hitting on like I'm gonna say that's at least 6 inches down there. It's kind of losing it now. Okay, not doing too bad though, considering the sensitivity level, you know. 15 sensitivity, about 20. Let's try it, let's see. Seems to be kind of stable actually in 20. So you really just have to get rid of that iron volume, I think. You're not going to be able to run your iron volume on when you're in the water. But again, don't take that as fact, you know. There's still more to learn with this machine for sure. But yeah, it's hitting on it pretty good. Let me act like I'm swinging again. After this one, we're going to dig this one up and we're going to try to actually hit on a real target. So yeah, you can tell for sure. Without a doubt, there's something under there. So let's dig this one up and then I'll turn you guys back on once we start to get to swinging. Here's a quick like dry stability test too. I'm in still multi-wet here. Let's pump up our sensitivity a little bit, 25. We don't want to have to lower our sensitivity too much or we're going to lose a bunch of stuff. So maybe not a bunch of stuff, but this small jewelry we can potentially lose. So turn it down a little bit. Let's see how the stability works in the wet sand instead of the water. It's still like a little bit sparky. But I'm thinking like if you run it like this, you're probably gonna have a better chance to find the super small jewelry, you know? So, what do you think? Should I pop a quick hole real quick? Maybe pop like a pinpointer depth? Let's see. We'll pop a hole in the dry sand here and we'll drop a coin down in there, see how deep this thing can hit. Not an official depth test, but make sure it can hit a coin relatively deep. Let's see, use my pinpointer as a depth reference. Let's see, I want average depth, nothing too crazy. This one's almost 8 inches deep. So let's drop this thing in the wet sand 8 inches deep. See how she reacts, huh? Right here, another nickel. Push him down a little bit there. So the sand's starting to fill in, but I pushed him down another inch or two. So I'm gonna say comfortably 7 or 8 inches there. Let's see, let's fill this thing in. See if it can hit it down there. I should have brought the Simplex too, maybe to compare the two, or the Equinox. All right, oh. See this, when you swing it over the water though, definitely becomes a little chattery. So let's see, it's gonna hit it. Yeah, it's gonna hit it. It's definitely hitting it pretty good. But when, like, just this chatteriness of the machine, you know, the unstableness, if you don't have it very stable. Let me turn the stability up again. I'm just trying to tune it in, you know, see. I'm not going to make the conclusion that it's not very good in the saltwater until I really try to, you know, dial it in. And I mean, it did pretty good. It's just not as quiet so far is what I want to say. It's not quite as quiet as the Equinox. My first impression, at least. So let's try stability. We'll pump stability up to 5 and see if it can still hit that nickel down there. 25 sensitivity. Not nearly as chattery now. Yep. And there you go. So it's hitting that no problem. I'd say it's probably even still got a couple more inches on them. So that one, in comparison to the chatteriness, you can 100% tell that's a target. So that's not too bad. So let's hop back in the water here and investigate a little bit more in the water. So a little bit of an issue I have though, when I'm in the water, if your Faro check doesn't work and you're not running iron volume on, it's hard to tell if the target is an iron target or not, you know? Because this one, I think it's giving me some type of beep, like there might be something down there, but I don't know if it's iron or I just don't know what the heck it is. So let me take some scoops out of here, see if we can recover this target, and if we can, let's see what the heck it is. All right, I'm gonna say this one, I'm gonna call this one a loss. It was hitting on something deep though, so it was so deep it's inaccessible, but I think it's a big target too, so I don't know how to feel about that one. A little bit good, a little bit bad. I wish I could run my iron volume so I could tell, but I'm still experimenting. We're trying to figure this thing out. What I'm not able to do though is go incredibly deep because I don't have waterproof headphones with this thing. So if the control box gets submerged, I can't hear any sounds or anything. One thing I do like about the Legend though is it has multiple levels of vibration on it. So maybe if I'm under there, as long as it's not giving me false signals, the vibration could alert me without my headphones even being active, you know? So maybe we'll try to submerge the control box for a few, huh? At least to test it. Let's submerge it. Submerge it in some salt water, huh? See how she acts. Like I said, right at this moment though, I'm at 25 sensitivity and my iron volume's off and it's being very stable. At least it seems like it. Even in the water here. So most of the rings out here though, even with the Equinox, they're gonna give you an absolutely slamming signal. I mean, depending on the depth, of course, that can definitely make a difference, but I would say very likely if I swing over a ring while I'm in here in the water, I very likely would dig it up with this machine. I don't know though, maybe I should bring a ring out here to test. I don't want to say that, you know, but yeah, right now we're testing the underwater capabilities, making sure that this baby ain't gonna flood out on us on the first use. So as we know, the Simplex is well known to be kind of a tank, and the housing of the Simplex is why they put this machine in this housing, is because the Simplex housing was just kind of known to be a beast. No leakages, no, you know, breakages really. I mean, every now and again, everything breaks and leaks, but Yeah, so far so good. So I'm curious actually. I have been over this way with the Equinox, and it's usually like this. It's few and far between out here when you're hunting in the water. So I'm just kind of waiting. I'm waiting until I see something a little bit different. See or feel something a little different. So far, now that I have these settings right here, I got it dunked underneath the water. I got it in multi-wet sand. It's actually a little bit like chatty when you take it. It's hard to explain when it's just floating in the water. Now I'm getting some numbers and stuff, but once it's down there actually detecting, it's very stable. I mean, at least with these settings I'm running, you know. Keep it in mind that I'm not going to be able to hear those, I very likely won't be able to hear those very, very small targets, though, out here in the water, at least, running a stability this high. So, I really haven't hit much out here. I'm trying to look, but like the test coins I tested and dropped, it hit on it good. There just might not really be much out here. All right, here's basically our first legitimate target in the wet sand. It's definitely like, I don't know quite what it's doing. It's acting up a little bit, but this one's definitely a target. Legitimate target right here. 30s, kind of a little bit bouncy. But you can tell, like you can definitely tell the real targets. Uh-oh. So right there though, in the, look at this right here. I don't know what kind of a sign this is, but when I don't have my iron volume on, look at this signal it's giving me, and look at the faro check even in the wet sand. This is what the target is right here. Now I don't have my iron volume on, but that's because it's giving me a lot of false iron signals. So I don't know about that one. I'm pretty sure when I was in the dry sand, the faro check was working on these Corona bottle caps. So I don't know if the faro check, I'm not sure actually. We'll have to just keep experimenting. But that was definitely giving me a good signal. Got one over here too. Almost looks like somebody was just sitting here or something. There it is. I mean, it's hitting on this very good, so I'm assuming if there's actually some targets out here, it should hit on them good. It's hitting on this stuff, no problem. So let's keep swinging it in this wet sand here. Investigate a little further. Finally got a signal right here. Just got back in the water. This is our first, I think, legitimate signal inside the water. 45. It sounds pretty good though. Let's see how deep it is. Take kind of a shallow scoop first. See if it's just right there. Yep, it appears to be. Come on. You can give us something good, right? Okay. It's a dime, I think. Not too shabby, man, not too shabby. First legitimate target in the water is a dime. So I think if there's stuff in here, it's probably gonna hit it. I don't know about earrings. I might have to bring some earrings to test next time. See how the old Legend reacts to an earring. Let's see. All right, here's something a little bit different. This is definitely a signal down here. Does not sound very good, but let me just show you. It's definitely something, I think. So let's see. Like I said, the signal isn't sounding the best on it, but I could tell that it was something a little bit different from the norm. So let's see if we can get it. I don't know, do we have it? Does the Legend have it? Yes, oh my goodness. Yo, no freaking way. Dude. No way, don't tell me. Yo. Dude, did you hear the signal on that though? It was barely giving me a freaking signal. The Legend, baby. I mean, I'm pretty sure the Equinox would have hit on that, but come on. Like, come on, baby. Come on. I think that might be gold too, dude. I mean, it's marked 14K right there. So this thing is tiny. It's tiny. All right, I'm not gonna lie, I was feeling a little bit underconfident with the Legend until just now. Like, it was 100% it wasn't like giving me the strongest, most solid signal, but did you see how small that thing was? It was 100% a signal, a little bit different than this chatter. And you can tell, like, I got used to it with the Simplex. There's not really much chatter, but every like maybe 10 seconds or so you get a little bit of a spark or a chirp. I'm running 23 sensitivity, multi-wet. Let me go to my I switched over the channel. I think that's like the frequency channel. I'm running 5 recovery speed and a stability of 5 again. So 5 stability, it hit on that little gold charm, man. I'm fairly certain that that thing is gold. I'm fairly freaking certain. Yeah, not too bad out here for the second day with the Legend. We're gonna give it another go. Definitely the beaches are picking up a little bit more. Look at this thing. This is a small little piece of jewelry too though, so I'm very surprised that the Legend could hit on that. I'm thinking maybe the chain could still be in the water. I kind of scooped around a little bit more to see if I could find the chain, and I could not find a chain. So, but man, that's a petite little piece of gold jewelry. I'm fairly certain that's real, man. It's marked right on there. So maybe when we get home, we'll test the little stones in it, see if those are real, huh? But anyways, guys, appreciate you watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, consider giving it a thumbs up. I always appreciate it. And let me know if you want to see some more Legend action out here. I'll definitely bring it out here and do some more experimenting. I've kind of tuned it in for the wet and the dry sand, I think, but I don't know if there's better options. I'm not really sure. At this moment though, it's swinging on the dry, super nice, super stable, or in the wet, super nice, super stable. So that ain't too shabby, man. So let's get out of here, come back maybe tomorrow or the next day and do it all over again. Hey, so thank you guys for watching. We'll see you soon.